Hey, this is Paul Hitchcock, and thanks so much for jumping on Giant TV. Really happy to have you here. And this is my weekly show. I do it every Tuesday, 1 p.m. California time. And the whole idea is to provide value for you as you're growing and nurturing a business. And I'm the founder and president of Giant Jacks Media. We help others to do just that. So I want to jump into this. This is going to be a bit of a quick and dirty session today, and but it's very, very important. And I'm really fired up to bring you this topic because I get asked a lot of questions. I see holes with a lot of people who are trying to grow their business, whether they're a solopreneur or a bigger business. And it's the five essential components that every single business needs to have in order to grow and nurture. Without these five essential components, it's bubblegum and toothpicks. So let's get ready to jump in. Okay, so let me move along here. All right, I want to mention this first in that when you're thinking about growing your business, the three main building blocks that you got to focus on, it's what we focus on here for our own businesses and when we're helping others, is your foundation, the execution, and support. And the foundation are the sales and marketing foundational components that you need to have before you execute on the build. And I tell people whether you're brand new starting out a business or you're a more mature business, take a deep breath, step back and look at your foundational components. Do you have them in place? Because without these, your build is going to be clunky. It's bubblegum and toothpicks time. You're going to start and stop, spend money on things you probably shouldn't spend any money on, and it's just not going to work. And so look at the foundational components, and I'm going to show you the five that you got to have, hands down, no argument. Then number two is the execution. Is once you have the foundational components in place, it's time to execute. This is the messaging, the identifiable and repeatable processes to build, lead generation, your value proposition statement, your sales funnel gets enacted, making people aware of who you are and generating interest and calls to action. So these are the three building blocks you got to focus on. Okay, let's get into the five components. I'm going to drill down on this a bit. Number one, personal brand is you got to have an elevated personal brand. This is the seedling that grows all your other marketing because people, your prospects, your clients are looking at you and they're making judgments about you. They're trying to decide whether you have what it takes for them to even get on a phone call with you, let alone buy your service or product. So you just have to elevate this brand, and it's your story, especially on LinkedIn. I want to control my story on LinkedIn. I don't want anybody to come into my profile, try to guess what I do for a living, or have questions. The minute that happens, people have attention spans of a flea. You're going to lose them. And so you have to develop your brand for clients and prospects. Make it airtight. Be the shiny object. It's like my mom said growing up, be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease with your brand. And uh, it just helps with conversions all over the place when you have this personal brand. And you have such a huge opportunity to develop a brand. And what is your personal brand? Well, it's the colors and the fonts and the messaging that you want to use to tell your story. Your personal brand is storytelling. Do you have a story of how you started out, how you're helping others, why you're passionate? Do you have that story developed? Are you telling that story, weaving it throughout your messaging everywhere? And your personal brand is, you know, is the uniqueness of you, how you're different from everybody else. I work with a lot of business coaches, for example. That industry has exploded over the years. And unfortunately, most of them look alike on platforms like LinkedIn, which is counterintuitive to what you should be doing when you're growing a business. You got to stand out, especially in a crowded field like that. So, your personal brand is about that. Also, your personal brand is about LinkedIn checking you out. They are looking at you, they're scoring you. It's called your social selling index. You get a score of 1 to 100. Do you know what your score is? Have you ever heard of this before? If you have a low score, LinkedIn's making you irrelevant on the platform. A higher score, they're pushing your content out there. They're making you visible. Got to know this. It's a big deal of what goes into your social selling index. 1 to 100. 1, you suck. 100, you're great. Where do you stand? And how do you compare to your peers? They measure you. So you really need to understand that metric in order to use the platform properly. And LinkedIn's looking at content. Are you engaging with others? Are you searching for the right people? Are you using video? Have you optimized your platform? All those things. So personal brand, huge. Next is your video content strategy. And so content is key. We know this, but not sharing other people's content, not sharing Warren Buffett's top 10 list or a ton and ongoing articles from Inc. or Forbes. Good content, we all know, but it doesn't do anything for your personal brand. And so you really have to develop your own content to stand out, be the authority, have people see you as the expert and want to talk to you. And how do you do that with your own content? And I'm sure if you think about your work history, your life, that you've got a lot of content you can develop and share. And so you want to look at that. And then also with your video content strategy is the idea is use video. Video is king. It's no longer an argument. All the stats are out there. Your prospects, they want to watch a video to learn about you, your product, your service, your story, as opposed to reading a bunch of stuff. And video is where it's at. If you're sending out emails to nurture, make it, video, which we'll mention here in a minute, your vlog. But the key is video, short, snack size, educate, teach people, add value, bring them into your ecosystem where then you can nurture them and sell your stuff, whether it's an online course or, something else. So video, video, video. Anytime you can use a video over written content. It's more powerful. People can hear your voice. It elicits emotions. They see you have a nice haircut. You're articulate. All these things that video brings to the idea of human interaction. So video content strategy, got to have it. And that gets into the vlog where email and nurturing people with email, very, very important. Got to do it. Got to have a process for gathering email and then nurturing people with email along the way. And it's not selling, sell, sell, sell. The rule of thumb is market, 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 sell, market, 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 sell. So the marketing is you educating, branding, offering value, and and this gets into your vlog. So your vlog is about being consistent with email. Once you're gathering and getting them into your distribution system, like Constant Contact, is being consistent weekly, sending something out weekly, every couple of weeks, and making that email enjoyable to read. It's not going to be, a manuscript with a bunch of copy and, destroys the eyes. No one's going to read that. Make it interesting. Tell a story with your vlogs. Have a video in there. Make sure the headlines and the subject lines of the email all are working together to get people to open it, actually look at it. Send it on the right times of day. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays are good. Mondays and Fridays not so good. Early morning, after, middle of the day, good. Those sort of things. Understand the process, but you got to have a vlog where you can nurture, because remember, 90% plus of the people that come into your funnel are going to be long-term leads. You're not going to convert them in the short term. So you have to have a process for staying front and center, keeping them warm. Email is a great way to do it. So it's your vlog and the lead generation campaigns. We all have to have these going on. It just is the way it is. If you're not selling lead generation and building a community, then you're going to stagnate, or worse, your business is going to die. And it's going to just be starting and stopping and clunky. And so you got to have this going. We all do. And I look at these a little bit different. So never been about jamming products or services down people's throats. It's more of developing a community and target niching, bringing them into your ecosystem where then you can drip on them. And along the way, simultaneously, you're selling to them. And there's an art form to doing that. But you got to have a big community. Lead generation is about building a big community of the right type of people where you can make a lot of noise. The more people you have around you, the more noise, the more eyeballs, the right people find you. And this is lead generation and getting people to connect with you uh, and uh, and knowing you, liking you, trusting you. We've all heard that before. It really does matter. And so lead generation, is an identifiable and repeatable process of reaching out. Are you embracing any sort of automation to do it? It's not a bad word. Are you scaling? How are you scaling? Have you refined your target audience? Do you know who they are? And is the language when you reach out to them strategic? Have you thought about the copywriting that goes into outreach messages, whether it's a connection request or beyond that? There's a science behind that. When someone connects with you on LinkedIn for the first time, I coach everyone, go to the LinkedIn video messaging feature on the app on your mobile phone. Use that every time to respond to a new connection request that says something to you. A lot of people don't know you have this feature. It's there. It's a phenomenal feature. It's a game changer when it comes to conversions. Use it. And so things like that, lead generation, really getting into it. And then understanding the difference between an outbound and an inbound lead. As you're reaching out, people don't know you. You're making them aware of you, bringing them into your sales funnel, generating interest, generating call to action. This is a outbound lead. They don't know you. So you really have to know what you have to stress when you're talking to an outbound lead for the first time. They may not even know. Matter of fact, they probably don't realize at all that they have a problem, that they have a problem. They don't. So you got to help identify the problem with them and do that in a very strategic way. And then talk about, how, you are credible, why you're the expert, because they don't know you. That's an outbound lead. Inbound lead, which gets into lead generation too, is somebody who knows they have a problem, has identified you as a potential expert, and they're coming in. You're talking to them. Well, you don't have to help them discover and work with them to identify the problem. They know they got a problem and they want help, and they know that you're a potential expert that can help them. So it's less about, hey, I'm an expert, and more about the solutions that you have that can help them bypass the first couple of those bumps. So big difference there. All that goes into lead generation campaigns and how you're closing people. Are you closing people properly? Do you have that whole system down? If they get on a Zoom with you, and it should be a Zoom over a phone call, then what are you doing? What are steps 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to move them through your pipeline? Very critical. All right, virtual events. Awesome. Love virtual events. One of my favorite things. This is where everybody's online today. Everyone's got Zoom. And the ability to build authority and engage with online events, if done the right way, integrated with the LinkedIn event feature. Certainly LinkedIn Live if you have that. And if you don't have it, apply for it. It's an incredible tool. You can do so many unique things there. But the point is, and integrated with Zoom, all these things tying together, is you're doing virtual events consistently, at least one every 60 days, and you're marketing that the right way. This isn't about time sucking endeavors where you got to market, 8 hours a day for a month. If you do this right, you understand the parameters, you can market ahead of time. The point is, you're using virtual events to build authority and engage and have the right people see you, and you're teaching. And it just is incredible what you can do with these virtual events and record it and have content and repurpose the content, have evergreen pieces of content when you record these virtual events. And these can be Zoom meetings, uh, but just having all those pieces tied in together is very, very important. I want to show you this slide real quick because this gets into the video content. This is a repurpose of video. And the way we do it is you shoot a video, we take the MP3 and we rip out the audio, make it a podcast, and it becomes all these pieces of content. So if you're really focused on this is how you do content with video. You shoot a video and it's going into all these different pieces. Your library is YouTube, images get reach on LinkedIn, text posting, share to your channels, uploaded to LinkedIn. Maybe you have a Facebook company page. Maybe you have, uh, a you're using TikTok if that's one of the sites you got. But the point is your videos getting loaded up to those sites, Insta, vlog. So your video, you're shooting the video becomes your email. So here's a content for your email because you're touching people in all these different areas. This is your ecosystem. You're getting people dialed in there. So when you shoot a video, think of creating a title, a summary, and a image. And if you do that, you've got a bunch of content, and you can see how you slice and dice this content up. And so this is when you get into video. So the takeaway of all of this is make sure you've got these 5 essential components. Without these, you're not in the game. These are just, you gotta have these going on. Then you can build beyond this and start adding things, but this is where it starts, whether you're a solopreneur or a bigger business, this is what you gotta have. Thanks. Hope you had some good takeaways. And you want to talk to me, book a call, text giant call to that phone number. You can pick a time to get one-on-one with me. Love to hear about your business. Love having those discussions and would look forward to it.